Over the past couple of weeks, we've been looking into the backstories of the Black Ops 4 multiplayer maps. So far, we've looked at Contraband and Arsenal had a pretty seeded backstory with the overarching story of Black Ops, and specifically Black Ops 4. Well, once again, we get a deeper look into Black Ops 4 with the map that we are going to be looking at today, called Militia. Now, there are a couple of reasons why we are looking at this map today. First of all, it is personally my favorite multiplayer map next to the remake maps in Black Ops 4, and on top of that, it is by far the most requested map that you guys wanted me to look at. Speaking of which, it seems like you guys are really enjoying this series, so if you do enjoy this, want to see more, I would love it if you could hit that like button. Like I've said before, the more likes these type of video gets, the more likely I am to continue this series and keep on making more. So if you enjoy this type of video and want to see more, the best way to show me is by hitting that like button, and I would love to see if we could get this video over 5,000 likes. I know it's a lot, but I think we can do it. So if you enjoy, please hit that like button. But before we dive into the backstory of Militia, I just wanted to let you guys know that later today over on Twitch, I will be doing a live stream. And when I do live streams, they're almost always open lobbies, which means it gives you guys the opportunity to actually play some Black Ops 4 with me. So if you're into Twitch, you want to check out my stream, or you want to play some Black Ops 4 with me, it'll be the first link down in the description. I start around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and go till about midnight. And I do that pretty much every week, Monday through Friday. So like I said, if you're interested in Twitch at all, it'll be the first link down in the description, and hopefully I see you there. But without further ado, let me shut up and let's dive into the backstory of Militia. Welcome to Militia, a map that takes place in northern Russia, close to the Bering Strait. In other words, close to Russia. Now, as far as this map goes, the locals like to call this area Northern Sanctuary, named after the local church, which is called the North Sanctuary Assembly. As far as the church goes, we don't have that much information on it, as the only reason I know the name of it is because of the pamphlets close to the pew. And as far as the church goes, it obviously has a dark twist to it, because when you go to the one side of the church, there is a wall with a hole in it that is labeled the Leap of Faith, and underneath says, "Only the righteous will be reborn." Also, this appears to be written in blood. But not all is bad in Northern Sanctuary. In fact, there's a couple of really nice things around the town. You can hear a sawmill that seems to be very functional, a family that clearly has gone fishing, and the player piano that we checked out earlier. And not all is good in Sanctuary either. We can actually pinpoint the exact point where things started to go downhill for this community, and it's when they were introduced to a, well, militia. You see, upon entering Militia, on the back of the sign to enter the area, there is a sign that is entitled Patriots of the North, with a very interesting looking American flag beside it. You see, the Patriots of the North we have actually heard before back on the map Hacienda. So as we know, Hacienda is owned by a crime syndicate boss, and specifically one that used to control the group Patriots of the North. However, they turned on this crime syndicate boss and are now working completely separate to them. We know this because of the sticky notes found close to the picture of Militia on Hacienda. We can also see the sticky note beside that ideas the fact that the Patriots of the North could be working with the enemy. But who exactly is the enemy? Well, we know that the enemy is the person with the question mark in the middle of the investigation web on Hacienda, but we can actually take a deeper look at Militia and figure out exactly who that enemy is. And it all begins with the newspaper articles that are found in several areas around Militia. And the first article states, "The Patriots of the North, religious fanatics? The Alaskan armed forces known as the Patriots of the North have been confirmed to have ties with the Northern Sanctuary Assembly." So this is when we can confirm that the Patriots of the North have taken over Northern Sanctuary and kind of joined together, or forced Northern Sanctuary to join them together. And then the second article we get much more information from. First of all, the title is "New Militia Forming in Alaska." It says, "Could the newly formed Alaska-based Patriots of the North be financed and armed by Russia?" Now we're going to dive deeper into that, but there's also another piece on this article that's incredibly important. It says Wednesday, March 28th, 2039. So that gives us a time frame as to when the Patriots of the North first moved into Northern Sanctuary. And this timeline actually makes a lot of sense because the Patriots of the North moved into Northern Sanctuary, owned by the crime syndicate boss in Hacienda, but then betrayed him, and that is where we get to see the next part of the story. September 2040 is when the Patriots of the North decided to turn on the crime syndicate boss and, assumably, side with the Russians. We know this because this is the last date seen on the calendar in a room with a little bit of misfortune, which we're going to get to in a minute. You see, at the other side of the desk in this log cabin, there is a picture of a man shooting an AK-47, a man that we once again saw in a picture on Hacienda, which was once again close to the pictures of Militia. This man is named Cole, and he's essentially the right-hand man to the crime syndicate boss that he sent to Militia to work with the Patriots of the North. However, when the Patriots of the North turned on the crime syndicate boss, Cole was in a very, very unfortunate place. He was basically deemed a traitor, and well, the rafters seem to tell the rest of the story of Cole. Either, well, he committed suicide or was forced to by the Patriots. And even though Cole was the only one that really wasn't the traitor, because he was the only one, he was deemed the traitor, and the rest, well, that's history. Now, there are a couple of other interesting pieces of information in this exact room, the first of which is the radio, which throughout a match will kind of send some radio transmissions through. Now, it's incredibly hard to make these out, and I don't think they mean much. It sounds like at one point he's talking about a bit of a battle, and at another point he's calling in coordinates to an airplane, which would make sense because at the beginning of the map Militia, an airplane comes in and drops water onto a forest fire that's been going on before the game starts. Now, as far as how I mentioned earlier that this group, Patriots of the North, has ties to Russia, well, one piece of evidence of this is on a mannequin in another building, you can see a hat, but a specific hat called an Ushanka hat, which I probably butchered the name of, but with this type of hat, stereotypically Russians tend to wear it. One example of this is Viktor Reznov, and in fact, to unlock him in Blackout, you have to pick up his hat as an item and then continue on with his challenge. So just one example of the Russian ties in this map. Another one is on a piece of paper, in fact, a piece of paper underneath that radio we looked at earlier. Now, there's a couple of really interesting things about this piece of paper. So the first thing is that this piece of paper is a receipt for a bunch of weapons, and one of the items is a stim shot, the thing that you use to heal yourself in multiplayer. Now, what's shocking is the price of the stim shot. It is $240 a crate, which it appears that there is 12 stim shots in a crate, which means they are $20 each. Now, what this means is that in an average game of Team Deathmatch, healing yourself 30 to 50 times, that means a game of Team Deathmatch would cost you between $600 and $1,000 in healing alone, and that's just for one game of Team Deathmatch. But that is super beside the point and really has nothing to do with the story. Now, the other piece of interesting information on this sheet of paper is at the very bottom, it says a gift from your friend Yuri, whose name can also be found on a shipping manifesto that specifically says to contact and talk to Yuri. So, who's Yuri? First of all, it's a super stereotypical Russian name, but on top of that, there is only one Yuri that can be found ever in the Black Ops universe. However, Yuri was a main character in Modern Warfare 3, which has never crossed over with the Black Ops universe, at least as of yet. However, the Yuri character that I am talking about is actually from Zombies, and as we've seen in the previous map stories, it seems like Treyarch is trying to tie Zombies more and more into multiplayer and Blackout with these little Easter eggs. Now, the Yuri I speak of is named Yuri Zavoysky, and sorry if I butchered the name, but he is known as the Pentagon Thief back from the map 5 in Black Ops 1. Now, he's also mentioned in Classified in Black Ops 4, but that's an issue for a whole other video. So is there any way for me to prove that it is this Yuri? No, absolutely not, but it's an interesting theory to have a zombie scientist kind of cross over into a militia in the multiplayer of Black Ops. Interesting if you ask me. Now, another thing that we have to explore is the fact that we actually know who the mystery man is on Hacienda. We know that this one-eyed man that is stated on the wall is Raul Menendez. I did a whole other video on that, and if you're wondering how a basically dead character can be brought back to life. Once again, a whole other video on that, the Blackout backstory. Savannah basically has the ability to reincarnate people, bring them back to life, and assumably she did this to Raul Menendez, as Menendez is actually in some of the transmissions within the Specialist HQ. Now, another reason why Menendez could be working with the Russians is, well, in previous Black Ops games, he's never really had any strong ties to the Russians. However, he can speak Russian. It's just one of those facts that's known about Raul Menendez. Now, the one thing that I cannot figure out about the map Militia, and I've looked around the internet, I haven't heard any theories on it, so if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments. But if you go ahead and look at all of the vehicles on the map Militia, every single one of them has a New York license plate, even though it is confirmed that this map takes place in Alaska. So why would there be vehicles from New York that far of a distance away? It doesn't make any sense. I don't have any theories on it. I don't have the answer. It's very odd, but like I said, if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and if we can figure it out, maybe I'll make a future video on this as well. But as of right now, I have no clue. That is the biggest mystery on this map for me. But guys, that is the story of Militia. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button. But guys, if you're new to the channel and like what you see here, the best way to stay up to date on all my videos is make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you have notifications on. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.